Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Your concluding words are the ones that I find most intriguing. Here you are over in Europe, you're in Istanbul at the G20, you are working in this collaborative, this collective approach that you've been talking about with our G7, our EU allies, and the focus is on improving energy security from a broader perspective. You come home from that meeting, and the discussion here is the Congress is looking to take money, sell off, well, not take money, but sell off parts of that strategic reserve that we are encouraging other nations to participate in, to, again, build out and enhance this collective energy security. Tell me how this works when the United States is trying to persuade China, trying to persuade India to participate in these international energy security conversations. Isn't it a little bit hypocritical for us as a country to be saying, come on in, and yet we're basically treating our energy security asset as the cash machine here?
Well, of course, we are, as you know, and as called for in product of your committee, we are carrying out a strategic study, which we expect to finish next May, basically, in terms of what we need to do in terms of the size and the authorities of the Petroleum Reserve. Now, without those, I'm not going to talk about a specific size, but the fact is that, as I said, the markets are totally different today than they were in the 70s. The real issue is a major disruption that leads to a substantial price excursion, which affects all of us. And that's why we are working with China. And by the way, the collaboration is excellent. They have come and visited our SPRO. We have a visit to their developing SPRO in November. They are building up towards a 500 million barrel petroleum reserve in China. India is building up reserves as well. So again, as I said earlier, I think this is a time of considerable geopolitical uncertainty, and what we need is a more unified international collective response to the economic risks we would all face.
When I would certainly hope that we would agree that we need a consistent response too, and we just can't ask them to move forward in this collective approach, while at the same time we are weakening our own energy security cushion, if you will. Now, I appreciate you saying you can't comment on the right sizing of the SPRO at this point in time. You're going through the studies. I was walked through all of the varied layers of analysis that will be part of that review. But wouldn't it be premature for us to be selling off portions of the reserve before we have that considered analysis, before we really know what the right size is, before we really understand how aspects of this modernization need to proceed?
Well, I would certainly assume that that's why Congress has asked us to do this study, was to be able to have a detailed and significant analysis, and this analysis is being performed with many both analytical companies and universities to bring together I think the first really integrated strategic look in a very, very long time.
And
we would certainly like to have that answer.
A very necessary review. I think it's something that we asked for a reason, and I would certainly hope that we would take advantage of this considered review before we weaken our ability to utilize the recommendations that come with this. And right now, we've got a mindset here in this Congress, and I, unfortunately, even with your guidance here, even within the administration, that says we need this money now because we need to spend it on a transportation bill, and if we don't spend it on a transportation bill, Somebody's looking for another bill on the House side, they've already identified it, for research in the health care world. We are looking at this as nothing more than a cash machine at a time when we're looking for more money. And I think that this is wrong, and I think that this is irresponsible. And I believe very, very strongly that what we need to do is make sure that as we move to modernize, as we move to make sure that we have that strong energy asset, we don't erode our ability to utilize it in the time of an emergency when we don't know what's going on. We don't know what may come next. But we know that if we've drained it out and we don't have the flexibility to move when we need it, then there's going to be a lot of fingers pointing, saying, where to go? So I think part of what we're trying to ascertain here is, what is it that we need, and how can we be smart with this as our energy asset? Senator Camp.